This is part 2 update of my winter N scale layout. Now the base was made with Home Depot 1x2 wood, pine wood. It's actually cut nice and straight. It's better than the furring strips because it's not warped. So I would suggest Home Depot or Lowe's, a nice evenly cut 1x2 wood for the platform. It costs a little more, but it's worth it. Now the styrofoam on top, I believe, is about 5/8, and I've got nothing as a base under there, so it's just the styrofoam glued to the top. Now today's episode, we're going to use the Envirotex Pour-On High Gloss finish, and I'm going to make a small little pond feature here. Now I was going to cut out this entire pond layout here, you see, but I have nothing underneath here. So if I cut too deep, I'm going to cut right through this, and all the Envirotex is going to pour onto my my structure underneath, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to do kind of a test right now. We'll just do this little area right here. Now I painted this a flat black. Normally that's what you do, but since this is going to be a winter scene, probably should have painted it blue, but I'm going to stay with the flat black and see what happens. So now we're going to use, there it is, Envirotex Light Pour-On High Gloss Finish. You can get this at Hobby Lobby. $10.79. It comes with 2 bottles, and you mix them together. I'm also going to use Floqual, you can barely see that, Floqual Railroad Color. It's a ATSF blue. We're going to put a couple drops of paint in the cup to mix the color. We're going to use a little pipette for that. You can get these at Hobby Lobby as well. Then I got a couple of stir sticks here. And just regular old bathroom cups, paper cups. Now the other layout, my HO layout, I use the Vallejo pigments to make the water kind of a muddy brown. This will be the first time I'm going to actually use paint, so we'll see what happens. Now I recommend that you always use nitrile gloves, plastic gloves. These are Members Mark from Sam's. They come in boxes of 200. You get 2 boxes, I think, for 15 bucks. So yeah, always use gloves when you're working with high gloss, this pour-on stuff, Envirotex, or paints in general. It's nice to be able to keep your hands clear and gunk away. Okay, here's the Envirotex. Now I'm not going to need a whole lot for this, so I'm just going to pour a little bit in 1 cup. Like so. About an eighth of a cup there. And I'll pour this in the other one. About an eighth of a cup. I'll go ahead and mix these together. This is just a wooden dowel that I had. I just broke off into several pieces. They make a great stir stick. They're nice and heavy. They won't break. Try to get all that out there so I got the mixture equal parts. And we'll mix that good. And I think this supposedly sets up in a few minutes. Okay, now here's the guess part. I'm going to just take a little bit, take the pipette, just take a little bit of paint, a couple drops maybe. I got too much there, just maybe 1, 2 drops, that's it. I don't care about the pink surface here. I can get, so then I'm going to mix that up good. You see the paint in there. It'll make the water kind of a nice blue, cold look. We'll see how that works out. Looks like a big black mark, but it's actually probably quarter of an inch deep. So there's some depth to it. So we're going to pour that right in there like that, and pray I don't have any holes in the bottom here. Otherwise, it's going to soak all the way through, although I do have some cardboard strips down there that should stop it from going all the way through. And that's it. So we'll let that dry. I completed this half of the layout using the flex paste. I put that down first, and I used this brush here to kind of get that stippled effect. I call it stippled to make it look like it's you've got like wind from the snow. And I'm thinking I probably should have put white down first. I've been using this Liquitex Basics from Hobby Lobby, $4.99. You can actually you can put this you put the flex paste down, and then you can color it with the basic white paint, or you can go do either. You can put this down first. I've done both, so I'm not sure what looks better, but right now I'm using the flex paste first. So it hasn't turned out too bad. I think I'm going to leave this alone. You can still see the rise where the track bed is. This isn't going to be a museum quality type of perfect layout. This is more of a fun winter scene, kind of a toy-like layout, because I've got Japanese buildings and I've got a Swiss engine and cars, so it does not go together at all, but I think once it's completed it'll look pretty cool. And I also purchased the Woodland Scenics Snowflake Snow, so that'll go on after I'm all done, and then once this is on, I'll use a combination water and white glue and spray on to kind of lock everything in place. But this layout, when completed, I'm gonna cut this here. You'll be able to transport this in an SUV, both halves. So it's 9 foot long, a little over 9 foot long, and so it'll easily fit in the SUV. So anyway, like I say, I've got this half almost done. We have the flex paste, and then I use the Liquitex. I've not totally painted this yet. I've got to use the Liquitex to finish that up. But you can tell here I've used the Liquitex on there. That's the brand name. It's actually just an acrylic white paint. This is titanium. And then when I do put the Scenic Snow on, that'll go over the trees and we'll kind of make it look like a snow effect. Now the buildings, I don't think I'm going to put snow on them. I might put some on where the trees are here and maybe this portion here, but I don't want to wreck these buildings. These are really nice. I shouldn't say wreck, but I don't want to put snow on them. And I've got to finish the back portion here, so this will be next. And the last thing to do would be to use the soft flake snow. Again, this is Woodland Scenics. It's SN140. I picked this up at my local hobby shop for $12.99. Seems kind of high, but it is what it is. And this looks kind of weird here. I did paint the inside here. This is where the pink foam was. I'll probably put maybe some sort of I don't know, buffer there that's white. Maybe perhaps some Christmas fake snow in there to kind of buffer that. And again, this layout is not like my HO scale layout. It's not a true museum quality layout. This again is a fun winter scene layout and end scale. I've never done a winter scene before, and it's going to be a portable layout. I mean, it obviously is a portable layout, and yeah, it's just kind of a fun layout. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I use the flex paste. Okay, so I'm going to use the flex paste here, and I'm going to use this. It's kind of a wide brush. Again, I got this at Hobby Lobby. You get this in a pack for $5 or $6. You get probably half a dozen brushes or something. So the paste is somewhat thick. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to just kind of brush it on the layout, like so. And what you'll do is you'll kind of make a stipple effect like this. So we'll make it'll look like wind effects. And you do that as you're laying the flex paste down. So I'm going to go ahead and spread it like this. And then kind of go like that. Kind of a stippled look. Like you'd see like wind blown snow. And we're going to do that for the entire area here. And when done, it'll look like snowdrifts. So that's kind of the idea. And this area is now completed using the flux paste. So that's done. It still needs to be painted though. I got the back portions completed as well. So we're getting there. Okay, so we've completed the right-hand part of the layout using flux paste for the base. And then we went back and we used latex, what is this, titanium white, to paint over that. And once you paint this over the flux paste, you're going to want to take the Woodland Scenics Snowflake Snow and you'll dribble that over that. Right, now to fill in these this gap here, we're going to use Sculpt-A-Mold. Sculpt-A-Mold is used for modeling and casting and carving. It's kind of a neat form of plaster where it gives you time to mold it and adjust it and move it around before it hardens. So that's what I'm going to use. Anyway, this is 2 parts Sculpt-A-Mold to 1 part water. So 2 cups of water, 1 cup. Or 2 cups of Sculpt-A-Mold, 1 cup of water. And we're going to use that to fill in this crack here. And then when we're done, I'm actually going to have to take a fine saw and saw all the way through here. So I'm able to split this track in 2. So that's the plan. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Got the Sculpt-A-Mold right here. Kind of looks like a lumpy pancake batter. So it's got paper and plaster of Paris already mixed. So it kind of goes in as a kind of a clumpy mass of goo, but it's great for filling in spots like this. Then you can take it and then take your finger, your hand, and smooth it out. Does a really nice job, and obviously it dries white too, which is a bonus. I'm just using a little half-inch teaspoon plastic thing here to put the Sculpt-A-Mold in the crack here, and we'll just keep doing that till we fill it all up. So now that the Sculpt-A-Mold is complete, it's all nice and dry. We've got the back side done. Looks more like a hill than a step. We're going to go ahead and take the Liquitex. That's the white, titanium white. I'm going to paint that, all the Sculpt-A-Mold. And we're going to go ahead and paint over the flux paste. The flux paste I originally put down here, and I kind of used a brush and made it again look like snowdrifts. So we're going to paint this all white, and before it dries, we're going to grab the Woodland Scenics Snowflake Snow SN140. I got this at the local hobby store. It's $12.99. It's a bit steep, but we're going to sprinkle that over here, and then that'll create the snow. And then I'm going to finish putting the rest of the trees in, and I'm also going to sprinkle that the trees with the Woodland Soft Flake Snow. And once we're done with that, we're going to use the Scenic Cement, and actually we're going to use the isopropyl alcohol first. We're going to drop that with an eyedropper again on the snow, so that allows the glue to actually spread and make the snow hard so that it doesn't flake off. And then after that's all done, we should have a completed scene. So I've got a plastic artist palette here. You can probably use anything, you know, to put the paint on, like a plastic lid or whatever. So I'll put some of the Liquitex there like that. And I'm going to use a kind of a wider flat brush. So we're going to take the paint in the brush, and we're just going to go ahead and liberally spread that all over the sculpt the mold. And then the flat parts, I'm going to go ahead and take the snow, the woodland scenic snow, and we'll spray it and we'll sprinkle that over it, and that'll help secure it to the layout. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little plastic teaspoon here. It's a half teaspoon, and this is the same one that I used to kind of shape the sculpt mold with. And I'm going to use this with the snowflake snow as well. So we're going to just put that in here like that, and we're going to take it, and I'm just going to sprinkle it lightly over the parts of the sculpt mold that I've already painted. So we're just going to go just like this. Now, I haven't done all of the layout here, just parts of the sculpt mold. And then the paint should soak that in and make it a little bit easier to stick. Just like that. And I've done this on my previous half a dozen layouts that I've done. It's always worked really well. You always want to paint it first, and then while the paint's still wet, take your scenic, either whether it's grass or snow or whatever you're using, and then lightly tap that over the scenery. And then when this is done, we'll go back, we'll grab an eyedropper like this, a little eyedropper. Then I'm going to go in the isopropyl alcohol. We'll put some alcohol in there, and then we'll dab a little bit of that over the snow. And then that's going to make it all wet. And then after that, we're going to take our glue, another eyedropper with glue, and then squirt over that as well. So then that'll lock it in place, so you're not going to have a mess of whether it's snow or grass anywhere. But it works quite well. One thing I forgot to mention is you can dilute the isopropyl alcohol with a mixture of 50% water and then 50% alcohol. This makes it not quite as pungent when you're applying it to the scenery, and actually it works just as well. So sometimes when I'm lazy, I'll just take it straight out of the bottle, but you can actually easily, you know, like I say, dilute it 50-50. So we're just going to take my 50-50 mixture here, and we just let it drop on the scenery like this. And then once that soaks in, we're going to take the glue, the 50-50 glue mixture, 50% Elmer's glue and 50% water, and we'll do the same thing with the eyedropper. You know what? Change of plans. Because of the large mass area that I have here, I've been taking the cup and just pouring the alcohol in rows back and forth, and it soaked really nicely. And went back and took the glue, and then we went back and poured the glue over it, and it worked out really nice. The eyedropper is just too slow. Now the eyedropper is normally for ballast, train ballast, but with this snow, and there's so much of it, found out that I'm just going to use the cup and just pour from the cup. Much faster and works real well. Notice I have these pine trees. Now they're not glued down yet, but I got these at Joann Fabric. They had a sale. They had buy one get 3 free. So my wife bought some candles, and I ended up with 3 packages of trees. I think there's about, I don't know, let's see, I've got it, here it is right here. I got a package, maybe 8 or 9 trees to a package, so I got 3 of these for absolutely free, normally $6.99 a piece. So there you go. If you get out to Joann Fabrics, buy one, get 3 free. It's a great deal, and it's really going to populate this layout and make it look good inexpensively. That's the game. Do it as inexpensively as you can, but make it quality, make it look good. Okay, now with the paint all down, You can see that it's all nice and white. I'm going to go ahead and liberally open up this Woodland Scenic Snow here. I'm just going to shake it over the whole area because it's such a large area. Normally I would just use like a plastic teaspoon and just do a little bit at a time, but since this is such a large area, I'm just going to go ahead and open it up and let her go. Let her rip, just like that. Get a little bit on the lake, that's okay. Get the corners here, get the edge, get the back part here. Just go ahead and coat this nice, because I'm going to go back and glue it all down anyway so it doesn't go anywhere, because eventually this layout will end up in the back of my SUV at a train function. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. I don't want to put it on too heavy, but just to kind of cover any paint lines that we may see. Alright, yeah, so this is actually going to go to a train show next year. Okay, so there we go. Now I've got a 91% isopropyl alcohol. Now I went ahead and did a 50-50 solution of the alcohol and water. And I've got it just in a cheap little paper cup like this. Normally you would take an eyedropper. Grab the eyedropper. Normally I would take an eyedropper like this, because I usually use this for ballast, because you just use small sections at a time for ballast on my HO layout. But since this is such a large area, I'm just going to take the cup here, and I've already tested this, it works fine, and we're just going to go just pour it on like that. Just let it soak in. Because what this does is this acts as a capillary effect. When I put the glue on, the white Elmer's glue, and it's also a 50-50 mixture with water, it will soak in here and just glue this all together in one nice lump sum, and it works out really, really well. So we'll do that. Okay, now that the alcohol and water mixture is down, we're going to use, you can actually use Scenic Cement. This is from Woodland Scenic. Or you can make your own. Do a 50% Elmer's white glue and 50% water with just a few drops of detergent in there. And so what we're going to do is do the same thing we did with the alcohol. So this is a white glue and water mixture, and we're just going to go ahead and liberally apply this to the layout, just like this. Now again, normally I would not do this like this on a HO layout where you've got, you know, a small amount of space and you've got minute details. This is just because this is so large an area, and it'll quickly kind of glue this all together. That's the reason why I'm doing this. So, and that'll all soak in, it'll all level out, and it'll look great once it's completed. So we've finished with the winter scene here on this side of the layout, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish up with the trees. Again, these are Woods Edge trees, 95622. I got these at Hobby Lobby. I think they're about $10-12 a package. So with these guys, you just basically pop them in, and they pop through the styrofoam and actually the snow base that I have here. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and sprinkle some Woodland Scenic soft flake snow, and then finish it up. I'm finding that using the measuring spoon actually works a bit better on the trees. So you can go right on top of the tree like this, You really get that snow packed in there. These are N-scale walking pedestrians from Tommy Tech. Got this at my local hobby store. These are $12.99. You get, let's see, it looks like a dozen figurines. These look pretty cool, so I'm going to go ahead and put those on the layout. I'm going to actually glue those probably to the buildings, the cement part there, because this stuff will eventually come off the layout because it's going to be portable. This is the glue that I'm going to use to glue the N-scale figurines onto the layout with. It's called Sobo. It's a little bit heavier than Elmer's white glue, and it takes a little longer, less to set up, I guess, because it's a bit thicker. And I got this at Hobby Lobby. This is $2.47, but this is great stuff. Really like this the best when you need a white glue. This is the stuff to get. Elmer's glue is okay, but it's a little bit runny compared to this. This is a little bit thicker. So I'll be using this for the base, the feet of the N-scale pedestrians on the layout. Okay, many of you may have wondered why I've done this to an N-scale layout, a winter scene with a Swiss train using Kato buildings. So you've got a Japanese Swiss flair to this thing. I've had N-scale layouts in the past, but I've never done a winter scene, so I kind of got an idea in my head, and I thought this would look kind of cool and to make it portable for a train show. So this is how it came about.